So, hello and welcome back to the Ballin Sisters, and we are back again. We are back for the match day number 2 for the UEFA Champions League, and we have a big lineup coming across as to the games which are going to be held on match day number 2. That is Tuesday as well as Wednesday. We've got, let me get straight into it, and we've got Victoria Plaza versus Inter, which is happening tomorrow. We've got Sporting versus Spurs, which should be both should be an easy game for the respective big teams, which is Inter as well as Tottenham. It might become slightly tricky for Tottenham, but then I hope that Antonio Conte might be able to breeze past Sporting Lisbon tomorrow. And Inter should be an easy game as well. We've got two big guns and big guns going against each other, which are Bayern Munich versus Barcelona, and the second big game would be Liverpool versus Ajax to see how do these guys perform, especially Jurgen Klopp, who's under pressure, and over there, how will the reunion be for Robert Lewandowski? Then we've got Porto versus Club Brugge, which should be an easy game for Porto, should be able to go through. Marseille versus Eintracht Frankfurt should be a tough game. They should be able to it is going to be an even Stevens game. We have to see who's going to be coming where and how they're going to be performing. So that is there for Marseille versus Eintracht. And then we've got Leverkusen versus Atletico Madrid. It might be a drab draw. Maybe Atletico might be able to clinch it very steadily. You've got Shakhtar versus Celtic, which is happening. I think so. It's happening tomorrow. Sorry, it's happening on Wednesday. Then that is happening. It is going to be a big game for both these teams to see how will they perform under pressure and how will they take the game ahead. Then we've got AC Milan versus Zagreb is happening tomorrow. The day after tomorrow, that's Wednesday. Then we've got Rangers versus Napoli, which should be an easy game for Napoli as well as for AC Milan as well, who should be able to go breeze past Zagreb. But again, they are not an easy team, and we've seen it in match day number 1 when they beat Chelsea left, right, and center. We've got Copenhagen versus Sevilla, which is happening on Wednesday. So it should be again an easy game. We've got Juventus playing Benfica and Maccabi Haifa versus PSG. But on Wednesday, we've got a big game, which is again a reunion of sort between Haaland versus Borussia Dortmund. So it's Manchester City versus Borussia Dortmund, or will it become Haaland versus Borussia Dortmund? So on that note, let's jump into the 4-5 big games I really want to talk about. First of them is going to be Bayern versus Barcelona. For Bayern versus Barcelona, we all know they've met about 11 times in which Bayern Munich has been victorious. 8 of those times, and 1 of them has been draw, and 2 of them has been victories. The latest of all, they have met in the 2021-22 season, where Bayern Munich were victorious in the group stages on an aggregate of 6-0, meeting on match day number 1 as well as match day number 6. Going on to 2019 and 20, where there's a big scoreline which is happening as a 2-8, where Barcelona lost 2-8 in the quarterfinals on an aggregate level, which was a very shameful loss, much more shameful than the one which is I'm going to be talking about a little later, where in the 2012-2013 season, where Bayern Munich decimated Barcelona for a 7-0 victory. In the 2014-15 season again, where Barcelona fortunately won because they won at home 3-0, and they lost against in Allianz Arena, where Bayern Munich were victorious 3-2, but an aggregate score where Barcelona were able to slip through. They've also met further earlier as well in the 2008 and 9 quarterfinals. These teams have been quarterfinalists, so I hope when these teams meet now, they might be also meeting sometime later in this competition, as well. So they've won in the 2008 and 9 season. They've met in 2008 and 9 season, where Barcelona were victorious in an aggregate level of a 5-1, where there was a draw at the Allianz Arena, and Barcelona were victorious at Camp Nou. And other than that, they've met. The last time when they met was in the 98-99 season, where Manchester United had won the Champions League, but then Bayern Munich had won 3-1, if I'm not wrong. Yes, 3-1 in the group stages. So on that, we know that it is going to be a high-flying game. There might be a lot of sparks and a lot of reunion and a lot of emotion which might be running high for both set of teams. But on the field, they will be forced, and we have to see how will Lewandowski react coming out in the other side, in a Barcelona jersey, and playing against his former mates, former friends who've been there with him for a long period of time. On that, let me also tell you that Bayern Munich has not lost at home of the 35 of the 37 Champions League group stage matches, not even at home, group stage matches. 35 of the 37 games they won. And the last time they had lost was in 2007. They lost to Manchester City. So that is an immense, impressive record. And also to point out that Barcelona has lost the maximum number of times in the UEFA Champions League against Bayern Munich, and then losing against four against AC Milan, PSG, and Chelsea, and a number of four. So you understand what is the difference which Bayern Munich makes in the Champions League and why they are so driven and they are so victorious in such kind of a competition. So on that note, let's move to the second reunion, which is going to be Manchester City versus Borussia Dortmund. The second German side will be playing in the next in 2 days, and a reunion of all sorts. There's been only 4 games which have been played amongst both these teams, where Manchester City has been victorious twice, they've drawn once, and they've lost once. In this, I think so they've met in the 2021 season prior to the last season, where in the 2021 finals, Manchester City were victorious 4-2 on an aggregate record, where they beat home and away Borussia Dortmund very comprehensively 1-2 on both times. And then the last time they met was about 10 years earlier, which was in 2012-2013, where Borussia Dortmund was victorious at home 1-0, and there was a draw at City of Etihad, Etihad Stadium, City of Manchester, or Etihad Stadium, however you term it, as a 1-1 draw. So there is a lot of talk of the town, how will Haaland perform? And I think so he will be out of the blocks. He'll keep his emotions on the side and perform as a Manchester City player, the way Pep Guardiola has unleashed him in the Premier League. And there's a lot of things which is going to be taken into account. I think that this is going to be the third Champions League meeting, like I mentioned. There's been draw once, lost once, which has also happened earlier. This is going to be Borussia Dortmund is actually looking for the first away victory against any English sides. They've not won that. And also, Manchester City has won last 8 home games against any German sides with an aggregate score of 30 goals scored versus 9 against. That is a huge number which is to be looked at. And also, they have been unbeaten in last 20 Champions League, UEFA Champions League home games, out of which 18 have been victories and 2 have been draws. So that is a big game which is there. Moving from Manchester City versus Borussia Dortmund, let me jump on to Real Madrid versus Leipzig. This would be the first time both these teams are meeting. There are a lot of records which might be taken into account. This is the 14th German team which Real Madrid would be facing. The last time they met was Wolfsburg, where they beat Wolfsburg comprehensively 0-2. And also, this is going to be Leipzig are on their unbeaten three unbeaten. They are beaten. How should I put it across? They have been unbeaten by Spanish sides, where they have won 2 and drawn 1. And also, Real Madrid have been unbeaten 11 times against any German side. That is a huge record. And also, there might be a big personal milestone for Carlo Ancelotti, who might touch the century club of 100, only Sir Alex Ferguson ahead of him at 102. So we might see that record also being broken in the coming days. Moving from Real Madrid versus Leipzig to Liverpool versus Ajax. There's been a lot of talk for the kind of performances Liverpool has been putting across in the English Premier League, as well as in the Champions League, where they've not started off very bright. But then overall, the Liverpool have met Ajax 4 times, in which they've won twice, they've drawn once, and they've lost once. The first time they've met after a long ages, the first time they met was in the year of 1966-67, where none of us were born, and England had just won the World Cup, where Ajax had clinched the game 7-3. And after that, they had met after about 4 decades, in the 4 or about 8 decades, from 2020 and 2021. I might be wrong in my calculations as well. Apologize beforehand. Where Liverpool were victorious, hands down in the group stages. They won against Ajax, both home and away, on a 2-0, 1-0 victory each. On that note, I really want to press that Liverpool and Ajax have met earlier as well. They've won that. And also, Ajax would be looking out for the first victory after the 1966-67 season, where they beat Liverpool 5-1. After that, they have not been able to beat them, and Liverpool has come up with the goods, and they've delivered that. There should be a lot of things which we are expecting out of Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp and his team to start performing on the greatest showcase of all time, UEFA Champions League. So we hope that he performs and Liverpool performs, because the Champions League will feel a little sour when Liverpool are not there or they are playing in the Europa League, where their compatriots Manchester United are currently playing. And also, Liverpool has only lost the first match of the two previous 46 major European campaigns. They have not lost before that, which is 35 games won and 9 losses. The last time they had lost was 1-0 to Marseille, and then before that 3-2 to Udinese in 2012 and 13. These are their home games. Also, in all European competitions, Ajax has won 2 of the last 25 away games. That's the abysmal record which Ajax would really want to change. Moving from Liverpool, let's go to Chelsea, who just, I hope, rejuvenated. I really don't know what's happening in the Chelsea camp. They've just sacked their manager recently, Thomas Tuchel, after a miserable run in the Premier League. A lot of fans have said that they should have given Thomas Tuchel a little more time, but there's a lot of talk behind closed doors that there was a lot of unrest. On that note, let me tell you, this is the first time Salzburg would be meeting Chelsea, and Chelsea has already met Austrian teams earlier as well. This is going to be they've only lost once, and they've won one and they've drawn 2 on the previous occasions. And Salzburg has never beaten any English teams. The last time they had met was Blackpool, where they were comprehensively beaten by Blackpool in the UEFA Cup in the year 2006. Like I mentioned, Chelsea were beaten by Zagreb comprehensively in the first game week, and this has been a very, very terrible start for the season, Premier League wise as well as Champions League wise. And also, Chelsea has only lost one of their 20 home games. They've never lost so many. So in overall, since the time they've been there, they won 13 games and 6 draws have been there. So Salzburg has also lost their each first game week games which have happened in the Champions League this season as well. So there's a lot of chopping and changing which might be happening this season, as well as a lot of excitement for match day number 2. So let's see, where are we heading. So if you like this video, do like, share, subscribe, enable the notifications, and do let us know what would be a scoreline for all the 5 games which I've covered, which is Manchester City versus Dortmund. Hope Haaland scores. Then we've got Bayern versus Barcelona. We've got Ajax versus Liverpool. We've got Chelsea, Salzburg, and Real Madrid versus Leipzig. Both the sister teams playing on Wednesday and Tuesday and Wednesday, respectively. So on that note, I'd like to take your leave. Thank you very much. I'll catch you guys in the next one.